You're watching the Faculty of the Mace show, where faculty authority is promoted and protected in the Academy of the 21st century.
Welcome to Episode 7, Student Felony Convictions. Is Don't Ask, Don't Tell a good policy or practice? In this episode, we examine the question of whether we should be preparing students with felony convictions for sensitive positions in criminal justice, healthcare, and information security when their employment prospects in these fields are dim. The United States higher education establishment has a Don't Ask, Don't Tell issue of its own, in addition to the U.S. military. In education, don't ask means that a college doesn't ask whether a potential student has a prior felony. Don't tell means that a college does not disclose to students that prior felonies are a significant issue with regard to future employment in highly sensitive fields of study. Anecdotal evidence suggests that a small but significant number of students with prior felony convictions are preparing for careers in sensitive fields. An estimate of this number is in the single-digit percentages, somewhere between 1 and 5%. While these percentages are low, the number of Title IV dollars involved is actually quite large. Also, we need to consider the effect on the individual students who may be assuming tens of thousands of dollars of debt with little likelihood of gainful employment in their field of study due to prior felony convictions. Clearly, Don't Ask, Don't Tell is neither an acceptable policy nor an acceptable practice. By policy, I mean a written policy. I would be surprised to learn that any school had a written policy of non-disclosure. However, I would not be surprised to learn that some schools have an unwritten practice not to disclose, based on the anecdotal evidence that non-trivial numbers of students with prior felonies are, in fact, pursuing education in highly sensitive areas. An interesting question is to what extent such a policy or procedure exposes a school to liability. This is certainly an area where I lack expertise. Some questions that come to mind are, to what extent are individuals or companies exposed to either criminal or civil liability for such non-disclosure? Is such non-disclosure subject to a class action proceeding? Can such non-disclosure be subject to a False Claims Act proceeding initiated by a whistleblower? I'd very much like to receive feedback from the Faculty of the Mace community about these questions. I suspect that some of our listeners possess either a Juris Doctor or a PhD in law. Nonetheless, until we receive clarification on these questions, the Faculty of the Mace has both free market and regulatory policy recommendations in this area. First, regarding the Faculty of the Mace free market policies, we recommend that colleges perform full due diligence on and disclosure to prospective students in highly sensitive areas of study. First, individuals should be required to disclose in writing whether or not they have a prior felony conviction. Second, students should be informed that such conviction is a significant issue in their choice of field of study. Third, colleges should perform a background check on individuals who apply to highly sensitive areas of study in order to rule out the existence of prior felony convictions. The Faculty of the Mace regulatory recommendations are as follows. Title IV funding for students with prior felonies should be restricted for use in pursuing an education in highly sensitive areas. At a minimum, students should be required to certify that they have received full disclosure and counseling regarding the negative impact of their prior felony conviction on their ability to obtain gainful employment in areas such as allied health professions, information security, and criminal justice. Whether such students either can be or should be denied the ability to spend Title IV funds in pursuit of education in highly sensitive areas of study remains a question that is open for discussion. What are your opinions about this? In Episode 8, we will examine academic admission standards. What is ability to benefit, and is it a good policy? How do you feel about the issue of students with felony convictions preparing for careers in highly sensitive fields that we discussed in this episode? Let us know by visiting facultyofthemace.com. There you will find many ways to join the community and leave your feedback. Thanks for watching. I'll see you inside the next video.
Produced at Studio C, Colorado, USA.